Hi, good morning. How are you? Happy Monday. Welcome to your study hall of week three. It was a really good weekend for us. I hope that for you it was a really good weekend as well. That you relaxed. I didn't relax, but it was a good weekend. It's like yesterday night I was telling my husband like I feel that I like put all together and I've been like working for 2 weeks straight and I haven't had like days off. That's what I'm feeling. But it was a good weekend after all. So I hope that it has been the same for you. For my class, I have been receiving some discussion forums. I hope that I was going to receive a little bit more of assignments, but I just think that all of you were busy. How was in your end, Chef Aben?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think is there like a American holiday that I don't know about or something's happening? Like week one, week two, everyone was like submitting, and like before the week ended, I had like 50 to 60% of my class submitting discussion forums and assignment. And this weekend I was asking my partner, is there an American holiday that I don't know about? What's happening? But I do know a lot of people here have been submitting. I've seen some of the names here. And I think some people are working on it. I just want to let you know that I think Chef Clara will also emphasize this, the fact that we are in week three now. For those people who are missing their assignments, they're missing stuff, please reach out to me and also Chef Clara so that we can help you out with it. I believe both me and Chef Clara has at least texted to those people who are I don't think you're in trouble, but I think you need a little bit of help. If you got that text from us saying that we think you're struggling, please reach back out to us and tell us, like, you're missing, if you don't know what you're missing. Because sometimes people, I don't know, some of y'all have two classes. You can't keep track of the discussion forums that you're supposed to be doing. And like, I have one student who's very good, but her whole grade dropped because there's a zero there. And she was like, I totally forgot about that. And if I didn't bring it up to her, she wouldn't know. So if we sent you a message saying that we think you're struggling, it's probably you forgot something or you missed out on something. But if you don't get any message from us, y'all are fine. Okay. Usually those people who come back to me and like, chef, am I okay? And you're okay. You're okay. But usually those are the people who I reach out to, us tell you that you are kind of struggling. Those are the people who need to reach back out to us. Okay.
Yes, yes. And don't worry about it. There's still a lot of time. I've had a student like saying that we're already in week three, I'm not going to be able to catch up. And yes, you're still going to be able to catch up. Just work with us and we can send you the links of everything that you're missing. And it's easy for us, so we can make it easy for you. Okay? So today we're going to be going over your assignment for week three because what I assumed is that it was not fully clear of what we had to do. So let me go ahead and I'm going to share my screen over here. And this is just an example. Let me put this over here. Okay, so we have your week three menu design. Okay, and the first thing that we need to do is we need to pick one of these choices, the work time, the Tusculum Cafe, and the couch potatoes choice. So we have couch potato over here. Okay, we have the Tusculum Vegan Cafe, and then we have the works menu. If you tell me, hey chef, which menu would you pick? I would pick this one. Okay? Because from the three of them, it's the easiest one to analyze, even though it's longer than these two. But because it's longer, it gives you more options to do a full analysis. Okay? Um, so if I were you and I haven't done my assignment, I would go with the work time menu. Why would I go with this? And I'm gonna explain you why in just a second. Because whenever you go to that first question, your first question asks you which menu did you choose? List one example of a dish or description that achieves its goal of making customers want to order it, and why does this name or description stand out? So the first thing that you have to do is ask yourself, why do customers want to order this menu item? And why does this name or description stand out? So in this case, any of the three menu options would work. Okay, but if you see these two do not have menu descriptions. So it's going to be like the scope is going to be wider, so you have to do a much profound analysis. Here, you are getting your description, so it helps you a little bit more. Okay. So basically, what you're doing for your question number one is you're going to pick out one of the menu items from the menu, and you're going to just tell me why, or tell us why does that description, why does that menu item stand out? That's what you're doing for question number one. Then for your question number two, you're going to grab two menu items that are emphasized, and you're going to explain how these menus are emphasized. So first thing, we need to know how our menu items emphasize, and we went this over in your live session. So you can emphasize a menu item by putting a box around them, by adding an asterisk, a star, by putting it within a different color, by surrounding them with an empty space. And remember that we do not have to emphasize so many items, okay? After you pick that item, you're going to tell me how those menu items were emphasized. Okay, so let's make an example over here. When we talk about those emphasizing a star, a box, if you see this one and this one, they're not mainly emphasized. You can say about those that have the graphics, and you could say that those are emphasized. That's why I suggest that you go with this one, because you can see that there are some items that are emphasized, and it's going to be easier for you to respond to that question. Okay, this is a fourth example that I just picked out of nowhere. This is not an example that you need to do with your assignment, but take a look at this. For example, who can tell me with this one? You can unmute yourself, you can put it on the chat. Who can tell me two items that are emphasized in this menu? Let me open the chat over here. Who can tell me?
Um,
All you can eat cod and the big wally
big one,
pie.
yeah.
Very good. All you can eat cod, the big wally, okay, the shrimp dinner. These three are the ones that are emphasized, okay? We have the big wally and all you can eat has like a brown box on the background that makes it stand out. And then the sauteed shrimp dinner has a box around it. So those three are going to be emphasized. So if you had to do an analysis of this one, now you are telling me, okay, these three are emphasized because they have a brown color on the background, and then this one has a box surrounding it. That's how your question for week two is. Okay, you're telling me then which are the two menu items that are emphasized, and then how are they emphasized. That's what you're doing here. We then move to your your question three, and basically is what pricing strategy are they using? Okay, so if you are going over the whole menu, you already have your options over here. Okay, if you're going through this menu, and we know that for the pricing strategy, we are looking for the dollar sign sometimes is not necessarily. Sometimes what you do is you put an expensive item next to a cheaper one because you do the anchoring. That's what we call anchoring. I'm going to put it here. Anchoring. You anchor to it. We use the 0.99, the 0.95. Chef Aben was saying sometimes it's 0.98, okay? And how these items are basically positioned on the menu. That's a pricing strategy. So if I take a look over here, who can tell me some of the pricing strategies that are used here?
There's no dollar sign.
There is no dollar sign. Okay, very good. What else can we see from this one?
The most expensive meal says 16.00.
Okay, 16.00. That 0.00 sometimes helps you because all of them, you see that they have like, they don't have the point something, but because this is the most expensive one, adding sometimes those 00 can help you out. Very good. What else do we see?
Hmm. The most expensive one is next to one that's
Ye-
cheaper.
Yes, 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 yes. And then we have, look, expensive, expensive, cheap. Okay?
Mhm.
Expensive, expensive, cheaper. Expensive, expensive, cheaper. So they do like the sandwich. They are anchoring one expensive next to a cheap one. So it automatically says, okay, it's all you can eat cod for $14. Oh, but then I have two breaded cods for 11. Okay, how hungry am I? Am I just going with those $11 or do I want to pay those all you can eat for 14? Okay. Oh, but you know what? I have 14, 15. So this one is like looking a little bit better if I want to do something affordable for dinner. It all depends what you want to do. Okay. But this is like the sandwich that they do expensive, cheap, expensive, expensive, cheaper, expensive. And then that's what we call the sandwich. Okay. That's a pricing strategy. So that's what you have to do over here. You're going to pick a menu item. Remember that we're sticking to one menu only. Okay. So if you want to do the work time menu, your analysis is going to be all based on this. If you're going to do the Tusculum Vegan Cafe, it's all based on this. Okay. So that's question number three. And then question number four, you're going to describe how different items are positioned on the menu and how it's driving your eyes to those items. So, what can we ask ourselves so that we can understand this question a little bit better? What I see that is this question sometimes is whenever you read it the first time, it brings like a big question mark to students' face. So basically, here they're asking you to describe how those choices help certain items stand out and it grabs your customer's attention. And these questions can help you understand that. What part of the menu does your eye go first to? So if I see the menu, what are the parts that my eyes go there first? A good thing for you to do is before you open the menu, like open and close your eyes a couple of times, and then the first thing that you see, that's the place that your eyes go to. Go ahead and write it. Are these items highlighted or are they separated from the rest? Do they have a box? Do they have a different color? Do they have an asterisk? Are they just separated from the bunch? That's where it's asking you there. And do some dishes look more special or important because of where they are or how they are styled? Okay. You do not need to answer all of these questions, but these three questions are going to help you come up with your full question number four. Okay. That's going to be your assignment for this week. Do you have any questions?
I think from my end, the assignments that I've been looking at, there are people who are trying to go beyond the question, which is fine, which is fine. So, for example, if like the fourth question, you're talking about the whole menu, some people actually talk to me and give me a justification of how the whole menu is, all the items are like properly positioned. But when you do that, you need to give me specific examples. You can't say like the whole menu because the question is name some of the items that are visually well positioned, right? So pick the item and tell me how that's well positioned. Okay, that's answering the question already. But if you want to go beyond that, you can go beyond that. But if you go beyond that without answering the first part of the question, like the main point of the question, then it's like I'm like I can't help you here. Like, I don't know what you're talking about, right? And the other thing is the question one also was very tricky because a lot of people just went ahead and talked about boxes when we are just asking you about the name and the description,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly. For example, for this one, that's one that I saw seen as well. Whenever you're doing question number one, make sure that the item that you picked over here is different from the one in question number two.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. Same. We had a lot of that as well.
Because basically they're different. What these are emphasized by a box, an asterisk, a star, a different color. But then these, the description, you're going to be based the answer on the description on the menu. That's why I tell you that the work time menu, it's easier to analyze because these have descriptions. These two do not have a description. So if you pick these two, you're going to have to do like a very detailed, profound analysis on why they stand out.
Yeah.
Okay. And then for your week 3, you also have a discussion forum. And this is going to be based on your concept. So you started working on a concept on week 1, okay? And now I want you to start thinking about menu items and menu descriptions. So what you can do is you're going to tell me the dish or the menu item. You're going to have them, 3 of them, and then you're going to do a description for each of them. Hey chef, I'm gonna do a food truck and I'm gonna have a chalkboard and I'm not gonna have descriptions. Okay, that's cool, but I still need you to write a description for that menu item. Okay, so it's not just mac and cheese, it's not just sprinkle cookies, it's not just a lava cake. Okay, you need to go ahead and write a description for that. That's like the first part. Then you're going to imagine that you are doing a menu, a physical menu, okay, or a virtual menu, but you are actually doing out a menu. Ooh, what happened there? So, how many panels would your menu include? How are you going to emphasize an item? Okay, we just went over, Claire. I'm going to go with you in just a second. We're going to emphasize an item. Am I going to put a box? Am I going to put a different color? And I'm going to put a star? Am I going to put an asterisk? And what psychological details are you going to use to guide ordering? All of these 3, if you go to your here to your instructor announcements, okay, and you go to your week 3 slides, you're going to have all of that data. You're going to have it over here. Okay. For that menu psychology with the names and the descriptions, how to emphasize the money makers. We talk about the pricing, the food and the pictures, the colors, and then that stages of production that you have them all here. That's what all the discussion forum is about. So you have the information to answer that discussion forum. Claire, you have a question.
Yes, so the one on the discussion forum, the first question where it says list 3 dish items,
Mhm.
is that, are we picking it from our week 1 menu that we created or
For
just,
your concept, yes, from the concept that you worked on week 1, you're
uh-huh,
basically going to do some menu items that you would serve on that concept.
okay, okay.
But
Okay?
it can
Remember,
evolve. It's not
remember,
like we're gonna like double check and make sure it's 100% the same thing.
yes, yes. It's basically we want you to um, continue developing that concept because on week 6, we're basically going to be putting everything together. Okay. So we want you to develop your concept as much as possible. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Joanna, Joe, you changed your name.
Uh, yeah, I go by Joe. It's easier
Oh,
because it's actually pronounced Joanna, and
oh,
no one ever says it right.
I was
So
like,
it's easier to
she
go by
she
Joe.
changed your name here, so it's like
Sorry.
go ahead.
Uh, so as a woman over 50, when my friends and I go out to eat, we tend to have to take pictures, like unless there's a QR code to scan, which is what everyone's doing these days because of COVID, I guess. Like people have to take pictures of the menu and then blow it up, put on their readers. So, like larger font would create a longer menu. But I would want to do like a slightly larger font just because of that. Like, so people don't have older people don't have, and I'm like anyone over 50 doesn't have to like struggle to read the descriptions.
Yeah, let me tell you something. I I know that hate is a very large, intense word. I hate the QR code thing. Like, I don't like going to restaurants where I need to go ahead and scan that because then it's like all the menu psychology that we're talking about, whenever you do that, it just goes away
You know,
because there you do not have different points. So I am the type of person, whenever I go to restaurants, I say, give me a physical menu. Like you can ask for it because it's like I do not like to see it. And if you have a virtual menu, go ahead and do like a PDF one, like the one that the words or the one that Tusculum Cafe, so that people, whenever they scan it, it takes you to that PDF and you can just open up. But I do not like whenever you go to that QR code and then you just see a list of things,
yeah.
appetizers, entrees, starters. I love that. But one of the things that you can do is yes, the larger fonts. That would work.
Okay, even though it creates a longer menu, it's like intimidating that it's a bigger menu, but it's really not.
I think this boils down back to your target demographic and your concept, right?
Mhm.
And you have to weigh whether this this option of having a longer menu that will put in jeopardy a little bit of the menu psychology is more worth it. Because, for example, if you're targeting people who are not just over 50, but like some people just are hard of reading, right? Like it's hard for
Mhm.
people to read. So if you're targeting exactly that target demographic, then by all means, I don't think they'll be turned off by the fact that it's a longer menu because they rather be able to read it, right? But if that's only like 10% of your target demographic, or like the demographic that comes and it's not your target demographic, then maybe you might not want to do that, right? So like I think that's the thinking that has to go behind this kind of justification. Like how important is it to you, right? Because at the end of the day, that psychology will always be the same for everybody, except for the fact for people who prioritize the fact that I need to be able to read it first before all this psychology comes into place, right? So it
Right.
boils down to how important is that menu psychology thing for your target demographic and your whole overall concept. Same
Let
with
me
description. Like for example, we say like a lot of descriptions, like the way it's cooked, sensory words, something that like incites you, right? Those are very important description words. But if you're doing a food truck and you're targeting people who ain't got no time to read, right? So we're telling you elements that form the menu that are part of menu psychology, but you need to evaluate at the end of the day whether it matches and is it important to your target demographics and your concept. Make sense?
Yeah.
let me ask here
I mean,
something.
you could even say like a larger print menu available and like just have a couple. Okay.
Yeah, you can. Let me
No,
ask
no, I
here
appreciate. Yeah,
something.
that's helpful.
Who has gone to Cheesecake Factory? Okay, Natalie, Charlotte has gone to Cheesecake Factory. Amber,
I have.
okay. Stephanie has, Claire has. Okay. So, thinking of the menu of Cheesecake Factory, who likes that menu? That menu is crazy. Okay. It has like eight, 9 pages. Is this size. The font is super, super small. Okay. From those who said yes, who are, you can tell me in a specific age. I'm not asking, who are between 18 and 30 years old? Okay. No one. No one. That's why we don't like those menus. Because the target demographics for Cheesecake Factory is for 18 to 30 years old. That's why we do not like that menu.
Yeah,
We
it's not designed for older people.
It's not designed for older people. We do because we do not like small fonts. We do not like many pages. This is for 18 to 30 years old. That's our target demographic of Cheesecake Factory. Okay? So that's what happens. That's what happens with menus. The menus, whenever that's a very powerful tool and you create it for your target demographics. What's going to happen is when you have different people from all other ages that go to the restaurants, they're going to give you the same menu. The glasses are going to come out, the lights, you're going to bring your phones out and all of that. You're still going to go because we still love Cheesecake Factory, but know that that's why the menus are going to be based on that target demographics. Okay. So if your target demographics is going to be for older people, 50s, 60s, now you know that your fonts need to be a little bit bigger, that you need to add a little bit of more descriptions or less descriptions, and then you have to take into consideration those prices. Claire, go ahead.
So is a back-to-back panel considered as one? I don't know if I'm saying this right. If you have a back-to-back menu,
Okay. Back in
is
front.
that considered? Yeah, let's say you have the dishes on the front, and then on the back you have the beverages and sometimes the desserts or
Let,
something. Is that considered as a one panel, or is that
let me show you what a panel is so that we know.
okay?
The
Maybe I'm not
panel is
understanding what it
basically
is.
going to be the list.
It's like a
Okay,
column,
so
I would say. A
yeah, so let me share here. Let me close here so that I can share this screen and then I can show you. So whenever you talk about panels, okay, if I see, for example, this one, this is going to be a virtual one, but this is one panel, two panel, three panels, four panels, five panels. Okay. If you have it on paper like this is one panel, this is two panels. So
Okay, I understand now.
it
Okay,
all depends. If you just write, let's say that all the menu on this side is like this one, like you write it all across, then that's going to be one panel menu. And if you have the other side, you have a two pages of one panel each.
okay, thank you.
Okay. It all depends on how you do it.
Stephanie, do you have
Stephanie,
enough?
your hand was up.
Yeah.
I wanted to say, like, I don't know how it is in other areas, but over here, the lighting is very dim in the Cheesecake Factory. Why is it so dark? How do they expect people to see?
Because 18 years old, they don't need lights to read. Like they could go in the dark and read in the dark. It's like a very mellow kind of thing. So it all depends.
It's dark here in San Diego too.
There's a reason to it actually, and like these are all psychology of the decor. And I don't know whether we're gonna touch that deep, but yeah, it's something that's worth reading. Like certain lights are to target certain audience, certain lights, colors will make you feel different things. Which you have. That's why like sometimes certain rooms you have white lights. Certain rooms you have orange lights, warm lights, right? And then certain people like white lights all the time. Certain people like orange lights all the time. Certain people like me may not like light all the time. So like, I don't know, like when my sister comes to my house, she's like, "Oh my God, are you Batman?" So like it
That's
really
funny.
it's a different character and whatever. But like yeah, there's a psychology to it. It's not just oh, they wanted it to be dark because they didn't fix the light. A lot of times, maybe it happens sometimes. They forgot to fix the light, but a lot of the times, if you especially the franchises, you go from one to another in every single state, it's the same level of brightness. And it's calibrated to a number of brightness
I
and
just feel like the dim lighting and the small wording on the menu is not a good mix.
because we are not the target audience, perhaps. Target demographic, we're not target demographic. That's
We're
the
not the target demographic.
answer.
That's why. And that's the reason why.
Yeah.
And that's I always like to give this example because it's not that they're excluding you, but it's not we are not going to be that person that goes week after week after week after weeks to Cheesecake Factory. And I think there was a message on the chat. It's been a while since you've been there, and it's because of that. Because you're not that recurrent customer that goes every single week or every 2 weeks to that restaurant. We are not their target demographics.
Yeah, before we go to Charlotte, I think Charlotte has a question also. I just want to let everyone know, for whatever reason, I've gotten a message today for some of the students saying that they see a zero on their week three discussion forum. Don't worry about it. As soon as you do your discussion forum, the score will be updated. It's not a permanent zero. Okay, for whatever reason, it happened and it's not a zero that I gave you all. Just if you do it, it'll be updated. Okay. Yes,
Charlotte, go ahead. You're on mute.
There we go. It wouldn't go off. One of my things is if I'm trying to do like the catering, my menu would probably be mostly online, wouldn't it?
Well, but you still need to create a menu, okay? And then basically what you're going to do is you're going to design it, you're going to create it, and then you have it an online menu, and that's okay. So
Because I did,
it's gonna look, for example, like the one that you have for this week, like the work menu cafe. It could be that you're not gonna add the prices because it's gonna be a catering, and that's gonna depend on the amount of people that you're gonna be doing your event for. But you're still gonna have a description with a menu name and all of that.
okay, I did talk to someone at church who said that if I'm doing that to make like a website
Yes,
menu.
yes. But let me put here catering menu.
I've tried to look some up, and I don't know if I'm just not looking, typing the right things in to find ones.
So for example, if I share here my screen, even though these are catering companies, okay, let's say that you have this one over here, it gives you some pictures, but then you have the items listed of what you serve, okay? You have what you serve, you have pictures, and then what you serve, okay? So you still want to have that name of the item and the description so that your customers know what you're going to be offering them. And yes, a website is also going to be very, very helpful. But sometimes a website can be expensive. So it
Yeah.
can't be that you are just opening an Instagram account. Okay. And then in that Instagram account is where you do this PDF menu and you display it there as a link so people can go in. So it's a starting point. Okay.
Okay.
Any other questions? Let me go through the chat. It's been once, and that was at a marina in LA. They had huge windows so we could see the boats. Ooh, that's lovely. It all depends where those restaurants are. They all change the the sceneries and the windows and everything like that, but it all depends. So then that's it. We made it. We won the global outage. We were not interrupted. We are champions. It was a pleasure being here with you on a Monday. If you have any questions regarding your week 3 assignment, just let us know. You have a discussion forum, and then we will see you on Thursday for our week 4. Have a wonderful week. Bye bye.
Take care, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.